room when I next get there. So we have a look in here, we've got Charles Peterson, we've got the same clinical details, and that's the same date of birth that we had a minute ago, which is great. And we're looking for a pelvis AP. If we go in here, you notice I've got no presets available because this is part of a self-assessment. I can go and choose whatever I want around here though. So I start off with 70 kVp and I might go to 20 MAS. I'm not even going to use the AEC here, partly because I want to show a couple of other things that were asked about, such as changing exposure factors and stuff like that. Right, so broad focal spot, I'm happy with that. And if I take that up to 110, that'll do. I'm not in the clinical department at the moment. And we'll go over and we'll put this roughly in the right position. This user interface might look slightly different to yours. I'm on the latest build, which has a couple of different extra features, such as moving the light box. And you'll see in a couple of minutes the collimation square, but they will be released very, very soon. So the first thing I need to do is put a cassette in the Bucky, and I can check that's in there just by bringing it out. If I was to go and take that out, you'll see it pop in and out like that. Now, what I should do in this scene is actually bring the tube out and then center it. You can see there I got the green lights. If I go into the patient, I get the green lights on the tube. All those green lights mean, and actually what you can see, this thing here is just looking down over the side of the tube. If I was to move the tube out of the way, which I will in a minute, you wouldn't see that. I can then collimate the cassette in the Bucky there. Straighten that up a little bit. And what I want to do is I then want to put on a right marker. I'll bring it across to that side. You might have just seen it down the bottom of your screen there. We'll leave it there. We might open that a little bit. Oops, wrong one, pardon me. Okay, so we're over collimated there, but I'm just going to get on with this because you don't want to watch me doing this all day. So then if I put the Bucky and the cassette back under the patient, under the table, all I have to do then is bring this across the patient until I get those green lights again. So that means the tube is centered to the Bucky, and if I go into patient, I get the same thing with that. If I was to move that Bucky down, they go off, and if I go back up, oops, a bit harder there, it goes back on. Okay, so now I should leave the table, I should leave the tube and the Bucky where it is. I can go in, his feet are pointing out, which I don't want. So I'm gonna bring them in a little bit. And then all I'm gonna do is move the patient on the table until I'm happy that I'm going to get a good view of his pelvis. So this is a little slower than doing it in virtual reality, but you'll find it does work. Right now, I go into the room, close the door, and if I do that, we have there the pelvis. Now what I want to do is just quickly go back in here, and for a larger patient, we might go to 80 kVp and double the MAS. So if I go back and I do an exposure, you can see I get a much darker image here. I can't see the graded trochanter around on the left side, and I've lost a lot of detail around the iliac crests as well. I'm going to stop that because I'm aware you've got better things to do than listen to me all day. I am going to send these to myself, and I'll forward you this link as well.